Now on CoastTV News.
Protest rights revisited. What Ocean View officials are considering today after pushback against protesting restrictions.
Sussex marijuana sales.
It's just something that leads to other things.
We look at the continuing debate in the county after a recent veto by Delaware's governor.
It's another chilly start to our Tuesday. 40s and 50s, tracking increasing clouds, breezy conditions, and the threat of rain. We'll track it coming up.
Supporting fire responders, how Delaware is providing more resources in assisting fire companies in the state.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And we're now in our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. It is Tuesday, September 9th, 2025.
Yeah, it was nice to open up the house again, turn off the air conditioning.
Oh, yeah.
I have to save money, Elisa, after my Powerball defeat.
I'm sorry, Matt, but imagine how I would have been impacted if you won.
That could go either way.
Because I'm thinking it would be a retirement for you.
Well, maybe I love working with you.
And you would share it? You'd share the Powerball?
That's a whole other story.
Now that
Chris,
is a big
see what
loss
she
for
goes
me.
down these rabbit holes and they're tough to get out of.
Wow.
Let's just bring in First Alert meteorologist Chris
Wait, that is so nice.
I actually had a hand in that Powerball. I would have spread some wealth to you there, Matt and Lisa. Unfortunately, I didn't. Well, I'll tell you what, we're dealing with some chilly temperatures this morning. Pretty nice. In fact, look at these upper 40s west of Coastal Highway, 49 there, Delmarva, 49 in Harrington, but we are milder at the coast, holding in the mid to upper 60s, and it's all thanks to that persistent northeast wind that we're going to continue to see here for at least the next day to 2 days. And you can see winds sustained 26 Indian River Inlet, 25 there in Ocean City, gusting 30 Indian River Inlet and 25 in Ocean City. It's going to be a rather windy afternoon along the coast. We're free of any precipitation, still under the influence of high pressure, but we're keeping a close eye on this area of low pressure off the Carolinas. It's going to eventually lift northeastward, and in doing so, it's going to spread some shower activity into our area, primarily tonight. Can't rule out an isolated shower late this afternoon, though. Clouds will be on the increase. It will stay breezy. Our Wednesday will be rather damp with scattered showers, but the good news is we end the week on a high note with sunshine and mild temperatures. So stepping outside this morning, we're seeing those temperatures in the 50s with sunshine to start, but clouds will be on the increase through the morning and into the afternoon. So by the afternoon, a mostly cloudy day with breezy conditions continuing. Winds sustained 15 to 25. Can't rule out a stray shower. I think Ocean City, Fenwick Island, those areas could see a late shower, but most of us stay rain-free until the overnight. We'll talk more about that coming up in that full 7-day forecast. Matt.
All right, looking forward to that. Our top story this hour, Ocean View officials set to take another look at its ordinance that puts restrictions on public protest. Now, according to town officials, the original goal, they say, is to ensure safety and the protection of public property.
The review comes after a letter from the ACLU of Delaware saying those rules are unconstitutional.
Now, some of the new regulations for protests in Ocean View include permits, fees, time limitation, and no masks allowed at a protest.
In response to the letter from the ACLU, Ocean View leaders said in a statement to Coast TV that, quote, no aspect of the ordinance was contested by anyone, including the ACLU, end quote. And the ACLU of Delaware says they're hoping for a repeal of the ordinance at today's meeting, which is scheduled for this afternoon at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, and also happening today, we're going to go to Sussex County where we could see sale of recreational marijuana. That is back up for debate. Regulations are scheduled for discussion at this morning's council meeting.
The review comes after state-level pushback on the current rules, which opponents say are too restrictive. Senate Bill 75 attempted to undo Sussex County's ordinance, but was recently vetoed by Delaware's Governor Matt Meyer.
In his response, Meyer offered some changes for Sussex County to consider in dealing with an issue that has strong opinions on both sides.
I'm kind of opposed to it, just because it's just something that leads to other things.
Anything, cigarettes, tobacco, this here, it's all possible revenue for the county or the state.
Meyer's recommendations include reducing the amount of permits needed, reducing the distance shops would have from churches or schools, and changing the required zoning district. County council meeting scheduled to begin this morning at 10.
This just in, footage of a massive brush fire that destroyed structures and injured 2 in the East County area of San Diego. The fire burned only 5 acres but destroyed 6 structures and prompted evacuations, according to CAL FIRE. Officials say the blaze started north of Interstate 8 before its forward progress was stopped about 90 minutes later.
In Seaford, we have the continuing effort to improve traffic flow at some high volume areas in the city. Tonight, the city council is expected to hear a 90-day update from Chief of Police Marshall Kraft. Presentation will focus on the traffic calming measures put in place on Nylon Boulevard. This is one of several items on the agenda for that 7 p.m. meeting.
New this morning, Delaware firefighters are getting new support from the state. Today, Governor Matt Meyer is expected to sign 2 bills benefiting our first responders. According to state leaders, House Bill 171 gives high school students the chance to earn an elective credit by volunteering with local fire departments. Senate Bill 28 provides $7,000 toward funeral expenses for volunteer firefighters, rescue workers, and auxiliary members.
Tourism is booming on Virginia's eastern shore. That's according to new numbers from the Virginia Tourism Corporation. They show visitor spending in Accomack County reached more than $892 million in 2024. Officials say that's a 7% increase from 2023. Tourism supported nearly 1,500 local jobs and brought in almost $12 million in local tax revenue. And according to the report, across the entire Commonwealth, visitor spending hit a record $35.1 billion.
Happening today in Lewis, the Economic, Environment, and Resiliency Commission will gather to discuss shaping its group. According to the agenda, leaders will review the purpose and mission of the committee, a draft mission statement, and proposed ordinance language. The commission is also expected to create a 4th Street Preserve subcommittee. This will all take place at 2 o'clock at Lewis City Hall.
Tonight in Milford, Delaware State Treasurer Colleen Davis holding a town hall. Davis, who is an alum of Indian River High School, plans to share her updates on her office's priorities, including savings programs, financial literacy efforts, and the use of artificial intelligence. Davis says she will also address public concerns about recent federal budget cuts. This town hall taking place at 6:30 p.m. at the Milford Senior Center. And we now getting a live look at Washington, D.C. Debate underway after a House committee released an image of a suggestive birthday message that some people claim President Trump sent to sex offender Jeffrey Epstein back in 2003. President calling the message a fake and denying having anything to do with it.
NBC's Alice Barr shows us how the president is instead focusing on crime and immigration with a new crackdown beginning in Chicago.
Divided attention in Washington this morning as President Trump keeps his sights on crime and immigration. A first look at a birthday message he allegedly wrote in 2003 to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein is grabbing headlines. It's a drawing of a woman's torso around an imagined conversation that reads in part, quote, "We have certain things in common, Jeffrey." The White House arguing it's a fake and not the president's signature, echoed by Republican lawmakers.
To me, it's just bogus. The whole thing is bogus right now.
President Trump has denied having anything to do with the letter first reported by the Wall Street Journal in July, prompting him to file a $10 billion defamation lawsuit. The House Oversight Committee released it Monday as part of a trove of subpoenaed Epstein documents.
The president now is walking into his own lie and cover-up.
The president focused instead on his immigration crackdown, with the Department of Homeland Security confirming it's launched a new ICE operation in Chicago, branded Operation Midway Blitz. No sign yet of a threatened National Guard deployment to crack down on crime.
We'd love to go into Chicago and straighten it out.
City and state leaders calling it all unnecessary, though a new Supreme Court ruling may limit their ability to push back. The High Court's conservative majority lifted restrictions on ICE operations in Los Angeles, putting a hold on a lower court ruling that blocked patrols and raids based on broad criteria like speaking Spanish. The White House rejecting critics' allegations of racial profiling, insisting ICE detentions are based on a multitude of factors. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And we're just getting started in this hour of Coast TV News Today.
Coming up, an update. to the Dagsboro animal debate. How one man says he'll have to pivot after the town's decision.
Also, Ocean City upgrades expected. We'll tell you what could be in store for one of the town's busiest roadways.
And Canada flight fight continues. There's a battle taking place right now with the country's largest airline. All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
Good Tuesday morning, Delmarva. Certainly feeling like fall this morning with some 40s on the board. We're still 13 days away from the official start. 52 Halloween as we make our way deeper into the fall season there. Thanksgiving, 79 days away. And I think we're already seeing some Christmas stuff out in the stores. 107 days away. You see some clear skies there. Starting the day with sunshine in Laurel, 53 degrees. Winds are pretty calm away from the coast. We're at 49 in Harrington, but milder at the coast with the temperatures in the 60s. Look at these wind gusts. 32 Indian River Inlet to 25 in Ocean City. High pressure still in control, keeping us sunny and dry, but that's going to change as we push in the afternoon, all thanks to this area of low pressure. It's going to push some clouds and then eventually some moisture into the area late tonight. I think the best chance of showers arrives. Windy day at the coast, high risk of rip currents, and then we're looking at a rather damp, cloudy Wednesday with scattered showers, maybe even a brief downpour mixed in there tomorrow morning, and we're going to stay pretty breezy at the coast. You get your forecast anytime by dialing the First Alert Weather Phone, sponsored by Broxton, Dallas, and Federico. We'll have a look at that 7-day forecast here in just a few moments.
Thank you, Chris. Happening today in Maryland, a new state police barrack is opening its doors in Worcester County. At 1 p.m., state leaders will gather for the ribbon cutting of the brand new Berlin Barrack V. According to MSP, the new facility on Route 50 includes several upgrades. It will also serve as home to an upgraded forensic sciences laboratory. Officials say the building replaces the old barrack that first opened back in 1976. And for details on what those new upgrades will feature, you can head to our article on CoastTV.com.
Tidal Health is hosting drive-through flu shot clinics this season, and one of them is at Purdue Stadium in Salisbury. Anyone ages 8 and up are welcome Friday, September 26th from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Clinics are free. Anyone under the age of 18 must bring a guardian to sign consent. Also, a note here, high-dose senior flu shots are not being offered.
U.S. tariffs hit car companies hard in July. Auto industry consulting firm Anderson Economic Group said car makers paid more than $1.4 billion to import cars and car parts from Canada and Mexico. This comes after a 25% tariff on cars and parts went into effect in April and May. General Motors, Stellantis, Ford, Tesla, and Hyundai paid nearly $300 million in tariffs on car parts in July.
Roughly 10,000 Air Canada flight attendants overwhelmingly rejected a proposed new contract. Contract was negotiated last month after the workers defied federal orders to return to work. That walkout, it shut down Canada's main air carrier for 5 days and impacted 500,000 passengers. The airline and union previously agreed that talks on wages would resume with a mediator's help.
Well, we're waking up to temperatures in the 40s and 50s across parts of Delmarva this morning. It's going to be another cool day with clouds on the increase and a windy day at that, especially at the coast. We'll talk about when some rain is going to be moving into the picture coming up in that full 7-day forecast next.
Time is 6:17, and you are looking live at Delaware's capital city of Dover, and we got the sun coming up over the horizon there. This is a great looking scene there for this time in the morning. First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono is back with us, and Chris, you are also tracking rip currents today.
Yeah, we have that high risk of rip currents if you're venturing out to the beaches today for the entire Delmarva coast, all thanks to that strong northeast wind that we continue to see. And it's pretty mild at the coast thanks to that wind coming off the ocean. 67 Lewis, 59 Long Neck, 68 in Ocean City. But the further inland you go, winds are calm, clear skies, and that's allowing for those temperatures to fall upper 40s to lower 50s. And you can see sustained winds right now 15 to 25 with gusts even higher, 31 Indian River Inlet, 22 in Bethany, and 25 in Ocean City. Small craft advisories up for the entire coast. You can see winds as high as 35 miles an hour. Also have that rip current statement, dangerous risk of rip current, seas anywhere between 4 to 7 feet along the coast today. And then small craft advisory to the south up through 6 a.m. Thursday. The Bayside, that runs through 5 o'clock on Wednesday. So no rain to speak of at the moment. Clear skies or dry under the influence of high pressure. But this area of low pressure to our southeast, that's going to be pushing northeastward and then eventually spreading some showers into the area come tonight. Rain chances over the next 7 days. Can't rely on an isolated shower along the coast this afternoon, but better chance comes in tonight through Wednesday. So clouds on the increase once we see some sunshine to start. Highs only reaching the lower 70s today along the coast, and we're going to see those winds anywhere from between about 20 to 35 miles an hour. Again, can't rely on a spotty shower late this afternoon. Places like Ocean City, Chicotee, but most of the area will remain dry. Futurecast shows the cloudy skies through the afternoon. Again, see that spotty shower possible Ocean City later on this afternoon, but a better chance of shower coverage will be overnight into Wednesday. So Wednesday morning, expecting some showers, even a brief downpour possible as those bands of rain kind of pivot in off the Atlantic, and we continue to see the scattered showers even into Wednesday afternoon. And then the good news is we dry out. Winds gusting as high as 30, 35 miles an hour throughout the afternoon and into the evening, even into tomorrow. Still seeing some high gusts upwards of 30 at the coast. And then as we go into Thursday, those winds should kind of relax themselves as that area of low pressure pulls away from the coast. Rainfall could see upwards of a ½ inch. Maybe we squeeze out 3/4 of an inch of rain as if we see some heavier bands, but we're looking very sunny and dry through the late part of the week. Looking very nice for the Walk for Prostate Cancer there at Cape Henlopen State Park. Temperatures in the mid-70s, 73 today with increasing clouds. Can't rely on an isolated shower at the coast. Better chance of scattered showers overnight with that isolated downpour into Wednesday morning. And then Wednesday, just not really a good day. Scattered showers, damp and dreary. 80 on Thursday as sunshine rolls back into the picture. And the good news is we end the week on a high note with sunny skies and highs in the upper 70s.
September is National Preparedness Month, and Sussex County Emergency Management is helping people get ready. Emergency officials say they will be displaying sample emergency kits at the Milton, Greenwood, and South Coastal libraries. These kits will show what essentials you should have on hand in case of a disaster. This includes things like food, water, medications, batteries, first aid kits, and more.
Happening today, the Ocean City Council plans to review improvement project plans for Baltimore Avenue. This is to move utility lines underground, widen both sidewalks by 5 feet, adding fire hydrants on the east side, and repaving from North Division to 15th Street. One man who has lived near Baltimore Avenue for years says he's excited to see these changes.
This project came up a couple years ago. We were invited down to City Hall to see the drawings, and I approve of what they're going to do.
Ocean City officials say the project's still in the early stages. Work could begin in October of 2027.
With school starting back up, the Delaware Department of Transportation wants to inform you of the alternative flashing warning light system. School buses use this to alert drivers, and officials say yellow flashing lights mean to slow down or prepare to stop. Red flashing lights with an extended stop arm means that children are either boarding the bus or leaving. Everyone on the road must stop, and it is against the law to pass a stopped school bus while its lights are flashing and the stop arm is out.
Millions of dollars in grants are set for distribution in Maryland, according to the Maryland Department of Transportation. Nearly $13 million in federal highway safety grants going to 96 organizations on October 1st. And some of the recipients include police departments. In Cambridge, they'll receive about $3,000. Berlin, $8,000. And Ocean City with about $73,000. Officials say the money is based on crash data and may be used for traffic safety initiatives.
There's more to come this morning on CoastTV News Today. An update to the Dagsboro animal debate. We'll tell you what officials decided after one local seeked permission for the animal they say were being used for educational purposes. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We have an update to a story we brought you on Monday. At Monday night's Dagsboro Town Council meeting, a draft ordinance to modify the town's code was denied. The chapter revolves around the possession of certain animals, and the animal in question, ducks. One local man presented this draft in hopes of keeping the 5 ducks he has at home for educational purposes for his children.
I just think that they may have been a little bit too harsh on the fact that we had them before coming and presenting this, which is disappointing, but you know, it is what it is.
And Wolf says now he'll have to bring the ducks to a family member's farm in Georgetown.
According to the Maryland Department of Natural Resources, copperheads are just one of 2 venomous snakes in Maryland, and you're seeing more of them this time of year. They can grow as long as 3 feet and are found in forests, fields, swamps, and dry sandy ridges. They have shovel-shaped heads and chestnut-colored crossbands like the ones you're seeing on your screen. The department urges you to watch where you are putting your hands and feet while camping and hiking. And while their venom is rarely deadly, you are advised to call poison control if bitten.
Matt, you mentioned you and Indiana Jones have something in common.
Yeah, I dropped that line, snakes.
You did.
Why did it have to be snakes? You know, I think I'm in good company with Indiana Jones. I just don't like them.
I think so, yeah. I don't like snakes either, and I think Chris was on the same page, so I'm glad we all agree with that.
Yeah, I grew up in the city. I'm not a big snake guy. And we're looking to Lewis. Beautiful start to our day. We're seeing clear skies for the most part, but clouds are going to be an increase throughout the day today. We're at 66 there in Lewis. Winds, though, out of the northeast continue to gust and up towards 30-35 miles an hour. So we have a high risk of rip currents today. Waves 3 to 5 feet along the Delaware coast, 4 to 7 feet. Ocean City down to Chincoteague with that high risk of rip currents. Camelot, a spotty shower. Ocean City, Fenwick Island, otherwise we're mostly cloudy. Highs only reaching right around 70 degrees this afternoon, but a very windy day. Lewis to Rehoboth. Highs reaching around 70 with increasing cloud cover as we make our way into the Bay. Cambridge starting off with that sunshine in the 50s, rising only into the lower 70s with a lot of clouds rolling in by late today. We have our umbrella winner here, Michael Marth of Milford, Delaware. You're the winner of our Coast TV News umbrella. We'll have a look at that 7-day forecast in the next half hour.
Thank you, Chris. And after the break on Coast TV News today, Delaware signs firefighter support. We'll tell you the details of 2 new bills expected to be signed by Governor Matt Meyer.
And also, weed regulations response. Sussex County officials are expected to review this morning, and that is after a veto from Governor Meyer.
And assembly regulations under review. We'll tell you why Ocean View leaders are revisiting an already approved ordinance at a meeting taking place today. Coast TV News Today. We'll be right back.
Now on Coast TV News.
Safety versus speech. That's what's up for debate in Ocean View as the town could revise its policy on protests.
Briefer reaction after Delaware's governor vetoed a bill that overrode its policy. What to expect today when Sussex County Council takes up the topic of recreational marijuana sales.
It's another chilly start to our Tuesday. 40s and 50s, tracking increasing clouds, breezy conditions, and the threat of rain. We'll track it coming up.
Community commitment. How Delaware is backing members of fire companies and the effort to grow their ranks.
This is Coast TV News Today.
September 9th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, we're hitting 5:31 this Tuesday morning. And if you're just joining us, First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobona had a big countdown of all those holidays for the rest of the year, including Christmas.
Yes, and Matt, you're not the biggest fan of it because 52 days to Halloween.
I'm not even counting that one.
79 to Thanksgiving, and like you mentioned, 107 to Christmas.
Too early.
But I've already been seeing decorations for a good month and a half for
Halloween. You do.
Yeah.
This time of the year, it's disappointing, but nothing I can do about it, Chris.
There is nothing you can do about it, but the temperatures, they mean Halloween, I think, is coming soon.
Oh, yeah. Feel it's coming. It's going to be here before we know it, right? Temperatures are in the 40s and 50s away from the coast this morning. Starting off 48 in Redden, we're at 49. Delmarva, 53 in Laurel, and 50 in Harrington. 68 there, Ocean City, 68 in Bethany Beach. Quite windy at the coast. We're still seeing sustained winds anywhere between 17 Bethany, 25 Indian River Inlet, and those gusts as high as 31 Indian River Inlet to 25 in Ocean City. It's going to be, again, another windy day at the coast, all thanks to this developing coastal low and that high pressure system. Kind of the difference between those two systems, you get that funneling effect and those strong winds between those systems. Clouds will be increasing after a sunny start. Continuing to see breezy conditions at the coast, 35-mile-an-hour wind gusts, high risk of rip currents. Can't run an isolated shower along the coast this afternoon. A better chance of showers comes in tonight through your Wednesday. Even an isolated downpour can't be ruled out. Good news is we end the week on a pretty nice note with temperatures getting back up to near 80 with sunny skies by the end of the week. So there's a lot of wind, a lot of clouds by this afternoon along the coast. Temperatures, I think maybe a little lower than this, lower 70s with the northeast wind anywhere between about 25 to 35. And again, can't rely on an isolated shower in places like Ocean City, Assateague, Chincoteague. That will be the best place to see a shower this afternoon. We'll talk about more rain chances tonight into our Wednesday in that 7-day forecast. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. Our top story this half hour, Ocean View officials are set to discuss a new rule that puts restrictions on public protests. According to officials, the goal of the new rule is to promote safety and protection of public property.
The review comes after a letter from the ACLU of Delaware saying these rules are unconstitutional.
Some of the new regulations include permits required at least 36 hours in advance for groups larger than 10, fees up to $150 to apply for permits. Demonstrations are limited to 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and no masks are allowed at protests.
ACLU of Delaware says this is, quote, unconstitutional and unreasonable time, place, and manner restrictions upon community organizers and protesters. Now, the Ocean View Town Council, they are meeting this afternoon at 3.
And here's what the Ocean View Mayor, John Reddington, told us. What the purpose of today's meeting is to ensure no one's First Amendment rights are inadvertently impacted by our ordinance. The ACLU of Delaware says they are hoping for a repeal of the ordinance at today's meeting.
Also today, when and where we could see the sale of recreational marijuana in Sussex County, it's back up for debate again. Regulations are scheduled for discussion at this morning's council meeting at 10.
The review comes after state-level pushback on the current rules, which opponents say are too restrictive. Senate Bill 75 attempted to undo Sussex County's ordinance, but was recently vetoed by Delaware Governor Matt Meyer.
In his response, Meyer offered some changes for Sussex County to consider in dealing with an issue that has strong opinions on both sides.
Meyer's recommendations include reducing the amount of permits needed, reducing the distance shops would have to be from churches or schools, and changing the required zoning district. Happening across Delmarva, tourism is booming on Virginia's Eastern Shore. New numbers from the Virginia Tourism Corporation show visitor spending in Accomack County reached more than $192 million in 2024. Officials say that's a 7% increase from 2023. Tourism supported nearly 1,500 local jobs and brought in almost $12 million in local tax revenue.
In Delaware, firefighters are getting new support from the state. Today, Governor Meyer expected to sign 2 bills benefiting our first responders. According to state officials, House Bill 171 gives high school students the chance to earn an elective credit by volunteering with local fire departments. Senate Bill 28 provides $7,000 towards funeral expenses for volunteer firefighters, rescue workers, and auxiliary members.
This just in, America's relationship with allies South Korea could be in jeopardy. That's after Immigration and Customs Enforcement detained hundreds of South Koreans at a Hyundai LG facility in Georgia.
Amy Kiley shows us the diplomatic efforts that are underway today.
You'd be foolish not to think about this.
South Korea's top diplomat is in the U.S. today at a tense moment for relations between the countries. Foreign Affairs Minister Cho Hyun is visiting Washington as about 300 South Korean nationals are detained in Georgia. That's where ICE and other law enforcement raided a Hyundai plant last week. Korean Air says it could start flying home the detainees tomorrow.
ICE was doing right because they were here illegally.
An attorney for 2 of the detainees argues that's not the case for everyone ICE arrested.
Under the ESTA business visitor or the B1 business visitor program, you can come in and go to business meetings. You can do engineering oversight. You can do after sales service and installation, which is what these people were doing in the United States.
The raid is causing outrage in South Korea. Its businesses are investing billions in the U.S., much at the behest of President Donald Trump.
Obviously, they're going to have huge hesitation about investing in the U.S. if your employees are going to be treated like common criminals.
The Georgia plant is supposed to open next year as Hyundai's first U.S. facility dedicated to electric vehicles and batteries. Trump acknowledges setting it up requires workers with specialized skills.
We do have to work something out where we bring in experts so that our people can be trained so that they can do it themselves.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. Debate is underway after a House committee released An image of a suggestive birthday message that President Trump allegedly sent to sex offender Jeffrey Epstein in 2003. The president is calling the message a fake and denying having anything to do with it. It's a drawing of a woman's torso around an image conversation that reads in part, quote, "We have certain things in common, Jeffrey." The White House arguing it's a fake and not his signature. A goodbye, Republican lawmakers.
To me, it's just bogus. The whole thing is bogus right now.
The president now is walking into his own lie and cover-up.
The House Oversight Committee released the alleged message on Monday as a part of a trove of subpoenaed Epstein documents.
And we have a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, safety solutions underway. We'll tell you about the possible changes in Dover after concerns from locals.
Also, Delmarva field hockey focus. We had a lot of early season action on Monday.
And charity event as construction ends. We'll tell you how you can preview the new Millsboro bypass before it officially opens this month. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
Good Tuesday morning, Delmarva. Well, after that hot stretch we had late last week, we've been well below average over the last 2 days, average high 82, and we're going to be right on par for that this afternoon. 53 in Laurel with the dew point of 51. Winds are pretty calm further inland you go with clear skies, but you can see with the winds coming off the ocean, a bit milder. 68 Bethany to Rehoboth, 60 Long Neck, 53 in Millsboro. Wind gusts 30, Indian River Inlet 25 in Rehoboth, so it's going to be a rather windy afternoon. High pressure continuing to be in control, but that high is going to weaken and allow for some of this moisture to kind of creep into the area late tonight as we go into the early part of our Wednesday. Making your way onto the ferry this morning, well, we're going to be pretty nice, but windy. Temperatures going to be rising into the lower 70s with increasing clouds and those winds out of the northeast, 30-35 miles an hour. High risk of rip currents today and tomorrow. Tomorrow not going to be the best beach day. In fact, we're going to have a lot of clouds, scattered showers, maybe even a brief downpour into Wednesday morning, and we stay breezy. We do see 80s return in that 7-day forecast. Let you know when they arrive coming up. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. This Saturday, the public is invited to experience the new North Millsboro bypass in a fun way. Before it opens to drivers, DelDOT is hosting a charity 5K. And whether you want to walk or run, that's up to you. But the almost 3-mile path is highlighted on your screen now, and officials say proceeds will benefit the Be Positive Foundation that supports children with cancer.
And after the 5K, the road will open to bicyclists. The North Millsboro bypass officially opens to traffic on September 22nd. Here's what it looked like on Monday. The new alignment connects 113 and Route 24. And DelDOT says it intends to relieve a traffic bottleneck in the downtown area. If you've been there, you know. New bypass even includes a separate multi-use trail.
The season is on and the flock is flying on 100.9 Classic Country. From the first snap to the final whistle, you can hear Baltimore Ravens games right here on Delmarva. Every drive, every touchdown, all season long. 100.9 Classic Country is your home for Ravens football.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Field hockey has always been good on the peninsula, and that's been on full display early in the season. So let's take a look at some Bayside action. Parkside faced a difficult task yesterday, beating Stephen Decatur, a team that made it to the second round of the state tournament last year. And unsurprisingly, the Seahawks controlled possession early. Bailey Griffin inserts on the APC. Jill Burton ends up with the ball, works towards the goal. Point blank, that's too easy. Decatur up 1-0 midway through the first quarter. The Rams don't want to let this game get out of hand, though. Ava Holland follows her own shot and just pokes in the goal. 1-1 tie with about a minute left in the first quarter. Stays tied until the second half, and right after the break, Stephen Decatur threatens, cross deflected out, long shot is kicked away. Get it out of there, clear it. No, Morgan Mikulski finishes the job. Seahawks up 2-1, and here comes Decatur's offense. Burton moves with pace, precise pass to Marley Rill, who finishes the job. 3-1 Hawks mid of the third quarter, and the last goal was on a change of possession. Fast break, how about patient passing? Great teamwork. Rill gets the assist, Mikulski scores. The lead goes up to 4-1. The final score ended up being 6-1, a dominant win for Stephen Decatur. That's it for sports. Have a great day, folks.
And coming up tonight on DSN, 7:30, it's Pro Foot Volleyball. It's episode 2. 8:30, girls high school volleyball. Cape hosting Delmarva Christian At 10:30, you can catch the final score. On DSM Plus, along with that Cape Delmarva Christian game, here are your exclusives. At 4, Bennett hosting East End girls soccer, Milford hosting Saints Peter and Paul in field hockey. At 5, more high school girls volleyball when Easton visits Parkside. And at 6:30, Wilmington Christian faces Cesar Rodney.
If you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at coasttv.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday. And here's what you can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4.
Coming up today on Coast Life, ladies and gentlemen, get those taste buds ready. We've got the Benvenuto dish of the week. Can't wait to see what Zeus and that crew cook up for us. It's always so delightful. Gets really the whole vibe going for your day. And we are going to talk to a prostate cancer survivor ahead of this week's coming prostate cancer walk. Also, we've got a kidney walk coming up, the Delaware Kidney Walk. We're going to fill you in on all the details you need to know for both of those things. Do not miss it. Coast Life starts at 4.
Well, we're seeing sunny skies to start our Tuesday, but the clouds are going to be on the increase. A windy day, especially for the beaches. Temperatures only rising to around 70 degrees. We'll see showers develop tonight. We'll talk about how much rain we could expect to see in our Wednesday coming up in that full 7-day forecast.
The time is now 6:48 and we are taking a live look outside at Laurel this morning, and I'm excited to see a beautiful sunrise on this camera, Chris, because you keep talking about rain. I know yesterday we had a lot of wind outside, but it was a beautiful day, hoping for the same today.
Yeah, we're going to see a bit more cloud cover as we get into the afternoon today, but we're going to continue to see those high winds, especially at the beach points, and at least the wind's keeping us a little milder at the coast if you don't like the cool temperatures, because look at the inland areas, 49 Delmar, 48 in Redden, and 53 in Laurel. You can see winds pretty calm through the western portion of the county, but right along the coast, still dealing with sustained winds, 15, 26 miles an hour, gusts 32 in Indian River Inlet, 25 in Ocean City. We'll see gusts as high as 35 throughout the afternoon today. That is why those small craft advisories are up through 6 o'clock for the entire Delaware coast. Rip current statement, high risk of rip currents for the entire Delmarva coast. Small craft advisory up through 6 a.m. off the coast of Ocean City and Chincoteague. And then for the Bayside, that runs through about 5 o'clock on Wednesday. Winds as high as 35, 40 miles an hour. Clear skies for now. High pressure in full control, pretty quiet throughout much of the northeast, but this area of low pressure off the Carolinas is going to be lifting northeastward, and in doing so, it's going to be pushing cloud cover, more wind action, as well as the threat of some scattered showers tonight through Wednesday. Can't rely on an isolated shower on the coast this afternoon. I think a better chance tonight through tomorrow. There's the clouds on the increase through the afternoon today, with highs only reaching the lower 70s, and those winds again along the coast 22 to 35 miles an hour. The spot you could see a shower later this afternoon, Bethany, Ocean City down through Chincoteague, those are the spots where you could see a brief isolated shower. Futurecast shows the overcast skies through the afternoon, and then there's that brief shower chance coming in off the Atlantic, but a better chance overnight. A soggy Wednesday, could even see a brief downpour into early Wednesday morning, and then those scattered showers will continue through Wednesday afternoon, and then we'll begin to dry things out as this area of low pressure pulls further away from the coast. Winds, as I mentioned, 30, 35 miles an hour out of the northeast through the afternoon and evening today. By tomorrow, still seeing winds upwards of 25, 30, and then those winds will be dying down as we push into the day on Thursday. Rainfall, about a quarter inch to as much as a half an inch. Could see some isolated higher amounts where we do see those brief downpours into tomorrow morning. But the good news is we clear out just in time for the end of the week and into the weekend. Heading into the Walk for Prostate Cancer there Saturday morning, Cape Henlopen State Park, looking at a temperature of 77 degrees. We're at 73 this afternoon. A shower, especially at the coast. 62 overnight with scattered showers, isolated downpours into your Wednesday morning, and then a rather damp, dreary Wednesday. But the good news is it's brief. Sunshine returns back on Thursday, 80 degrees. And look at that weekend, looking pretty nice under mostly sunny skies with highs around 80.
Thank you, Chris. Metal wands and increased police presence may soon be coming to Dover City Council and the Committee of the Whole meetings. The newly formed Security Ad Hoc Committee met last week to discuss potential safety improvements after concerns were raised. The committee is moving forward with a proposal for one Dover police officer, equipped with a handheld metal detector at bi-weekly meetings. Supporters say it could make meetings safer, while opponents question its effectiveness. The measure would cost about $11,000 a year. Leaders say other options are still being considered.
We just ask that the public be patient with us while we figure out the details, and that they recognize that this is an inherent benefit for public safety.
More information on this proposal will be shared once the council and locals have met at City Hall.
And while it may have not been that billion-dollar jackpot, there were some big lottery winners on Delmarva. Let's take a look at some of them. One Salisbury player won $50,000 in a lightning cash ticket they bought at Arroyo Farms. And then one lottery player in Berlin, they found themselves with a $12,000 ticket they got from Shortstop.
The time is now 6:52, and we are going to check in with our Coastal Pet of the Day.
And today's Coastal Pet of the Day lives with our pets from the first hour. On your screen, that is Max. Max is a cool cat who enjoys spending time with Max and Molly, or Milton and Molly from our previous hour. That's who we had in hour one. Max was submitted to us by Karen in Milford.
And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
You can scan that QR code at the top to get your friends to us, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
It is 6:55, and it's time for the things you need to know before you go. Ocean View officials are set to discuss a new rule that puts restrictions on public protests. According to officials, the goal of the new rule is to promote safety and protection of public property.
Yeah, the review comes after a letter from the ACLU of Delaware saying those rules are unconstitutional. Some of the new regulations include permits required at least 36 hours in advance for groups larger than 10, fees up to $150 to apply for a permit that demonstrate, limited time from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and also no masks allowed at protests.
The ACLU of Delaware says this is, quote, unconstitutional and unreasonable time, place and manner restrictions upon community organizations and protesters. In response to the letter from the ACLU, Ocean View leaders said in a statement to CoastTV, quote, no aspect of the ordinance was contested by anyone, including the ACLU. And the time is now 6:56, so we are going to take a look at your forecast before you head out the door.
Yeah, Chris, I know you're tracking that. We're going to have some gusts today.
Yeah, we're going to continue to see those strong winds at the coast. We have a high risk of rip current, so keep that in mind. We're starting the day off with sunshine, but clouds will be on the increase through the afternoon as those winds out of the northeast continue. 15 to 25, gusts upwards of 30. Can't rule out an isolated shower along the coast late this afternoon. Better chance of scattered showers comes in tonight through Wednesday. Could even see a brief downpour Wednesday morning, and then the skies turn sunny again Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. A nice stretch of weather there. In fact, we stay kind of hovering around the upper 70s to right around 80-degree mark through the rest of that 10-day.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for joining us here for CoastTV News today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for CoastTV News midday at 11.
And for even more news and coverage you can count on, you can grab your phone, grab your app, download our apps. That way you can keep track of the weather hour by hour. That's what I do if I'm going to the beach. Nice. Good thing to have. You can download that to keep up to date. And until we see you for CoastTV News midday at 11 a.m., have a great Tuesday morning, everybody.